It was a humid evening in Port Harcourt when Emeka, my husband, walked into our home with shoulders slumped and face etched with guilt. I had never seen him this shaken before. He asked to talk, his voice barely above a whisper. "I have a mistress," he confessed, unable to meet my eyes. "And she's pregnant." My heart clenched, but I stayed silent. "She's threatening to tell you everything if I don't send her to America. I'd rather you hear it from me than her. Baby, please forgive me." I felt my world crumbling, but not for the reason he expected. I knew without a doubt that his mistress was lying. Emeka was infertile. He can't father a child, though he had no idea. The truth threatened to unravel everything. I could barely breathe as I processed his words. The weight of my own secret suffocated me. Our 3 children, Joy, Jane, and David, were not his. How could I tell him? If I exposed his mistress, I would expose myself. He had always been a loving father, never questioning their resemblance or his ability to father them. "Emeka, are you sure about this?" I asked cautiously. "Yes," he said. "She says the child is mine, and I believe her. She wouldn't lie about something like this." "Oh, but she would. And I had to find a way to prove it without losing everything. I needed to meet this woman, so I told Emeka to arrange it. He was reluctant, but eventually agreed. When we met at a small restaurant in Woji, Port Harcourt, I studied her. Her name was Emeka, young, beautiful, and confident. "You must be his wife," she said, smiling wickedly. "I thought you should know. I'm carrying your husband's child." I stared at her, forcing a calm I didn't feel. "Are you sure about that?" I asked, watching her expression shift. "Of course," she replied too quickly. "And if he doesn't take care of me, you'll be hearing from me more often." She was bluffing, but I needed proof. I convinced Emeka to take a paternity test once the baby was born. He hesitated, but eventually agreed. In the meantime, I visited Dr. Nduka, a fertility specialist, under the guise of a routine checkup with his samples. "Your husband is infertile," Dr. Nduka confirmed. "Medically, he can never be capable of fathering a child or children." I felt a chill crawl up my spine. I had always known, but hearing it again made my secret heavier. I couldn't hold it in anymore. I had to find out Emeka's real plan. I hired a private investigator to follow her. What he uncovered sent shivers down my spine. She was already involved with another man, an older, wealthier businessman. She was playing a dangerous game, and my husband was just a pawn. Before I could confront Emeka, she sent me a message. "If you don't convince your husband to send me abroad, I will destroy your marriage." She had no idea that I held the real power, but I needed to be careful. Emeka started withdrawing from me, guilt eating him alive. I watched as the man I loved slowly fell apart. "I don't deserve you," he said one night. "Maybe I should just leave." I couldn't let him go, not like this. The private investigator brought back even more shocking news. Emeka wasn't even pregnant. The ultrasound picture she showed Emeka was fake. I had her exactly where I wanted her. I arranged a meeting with Emeka, laying all the evidence on the table. "I know you're lying," I said coldly. "You're not pregnant, and I know about your other lover." Her confident smirk faltered. "What do you want?" she hissed. "Disappear," I said, "or I'll make sure your lies cost you more than you ever imagined." I told Emeka everything except my own betrayal. I watched as his trust in Emeka shattered. He confronted her, and she crumbled under the pressure. She confessed. Emeka was relieved, yet he struggled with guilt. "I almost ruined us," he admitted. I held him, but inside, my fear grew. What if one day he learned the whole truth? I thought the storm had passed, and I was so happy, but Emeka wasn't done. She reached out to me, threatening to expose something else, something I wasn't ready for. My goodness! You're hiding something too, she texted me. I know about it. I had underestimated her. She had done so much research on my family and somehow knew about Emeka's infertility. What will you do if he finds out the truth? She taunted. For a second, my heart left my body. I had to act fast before she destroyed everything I had built over the years. Before Emeka could do anything, I flipped the script. I leaked information about her scam to her sugar daddy she had been dating before she met Emeka. He immediately cut her off without a word, and with nowhere to turn, she disappeared. But the weight of my own deception remained. I stood in the living room, watching my husband play with our children. They were his world. I had saved our marriage, but at what cost? If the truth ever came out, it would destroy him. I whispered a silent prayer. After all, even a thief prays hoping they never got caught. I was hoping that some secrets could stay buried forever. Just when I thought everything was over, a strange woman, Kem, showed up at my doorstep. She claimed to be Emeka's sister and held a file that she said contained my deepest secret. My heart pounded as I led her into the living room, my hands shaking. What did she know? Could Emeka have uncovered the truth? She placed the file on the table and smirked. You thought my sister would just disappear? She left something for me in case she ever needed leverage. My breath hitched as she slid the file toward me. I wonder what your husband would say if he saw this. I had no choice but to hear her out. When I flipped open the file, my knees almost gave way. Emeka had done a thorough research. There were medical reports, secret DNA results, proof that Emeka had been infertile for over 15 years. And worse, she had somehow traced the real father of my children. My head spun. How had she gotten this information? What do you want? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Money. Enough to start over. Pay me, and I'll disappear. If not, your husband will learn the truth in the worst way possible. I knew I had to act fast. I had spent years building my life with Emeka while covering my tracks, and I wasn't ready to watch it all crumble. I arranged a secret withdrawal of funds, enough to keep her quiet. But something about the situation unsettled me. If I paid her, what guarantee did I have that she wouldn't come back for more? As I met her the next day to hand over the money, my fingers trembled. This is the last time you will threaten me, I warned. She chuckled. We'll see. Days passed, and I hoped I had finally buried the past. But fate had other plans. One evening, as I prepared dinner, Emeka walked in holding a file, the same file I had tried so hard to hide. My stomach twisted into knots. What is this? He asked, his voice laced with confusion and anger. I opened my mouth, but no words came out. My entire world was on the brink of destruction. Where did you get that? I managed to whisper. A courier dropped it off. No name, no note, just this file, he said, his eyes burning into mine. Tell me the truth, now. There was no escape now. The walls were closing in, and I had no choice but to tell him everything. I braced myself as I whispered the words that would change everything. Emeka, our children aren't yours. The room fell into an eerie silence. He staggered back, gripping the edge of the table as though the truth had physically struck him. I wanted to reach for him, to plead for understanding, but he lifted his hand to stop me. How could you? His voice broke. After everything? After all these years? Tears streamed down my face. Because I loved you. I still do. I was afraid of losing you. He stared at me, pain etched in every line of his face. I don't know if I can ever forgive this. I never want to see you again. And please do not look for me, he whispered before turning and walking out the door, leaving me alone with the unbearable weight of my sins. Would he come back? Could he ever love me again? Or had my lies finally destroyed the only man who had ever truly loved me? The moral of the story teaches that secrets may protect us in the moment, but they have the power to destroy everything we hold dear. Honesty is painful, yet deception carries a heavier price. Love built on lies will always be fragile, and the truth, no matter how long it's buried, will always find a way to surface. In the end, trust is the foundation of every relationship. Once broken, it may never be whole again. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the story. See you in the next one.